Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura style.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start.
He's trying to get across.
Hello, welcome to Burning Questions. A big panel assembled. Chris Svanosio, Aaron Dunn, Brett Carroll. Welcome to the show, boys. We'll start with you, Snooze, because I can see some blue skies and some sun where you are. So you're obviously not tucked away here in Victoria.
No, up at Redcliffe. We arrived up here with the two horses on Sunday afternoon, so they've had a few days to settle in and, into Albion Park tomorrow night.
Good stuff. Thanks for jumping on and making some time. Aaron Dunn joins us from the trophy room, it looks like. Plenty of winning photos up on the wall, Dunny.
Oh, that's just behind me. That's probably the only photos I've got up, really. I'm a bit slack. There's always a pile on the ground, which I probably should put up somewhere, but my partner's not that keen of having them anywhere else but in the office.
And you in there too, probably, with the door shut.
Yeah.
Brett Carroll joins us with the piano. Brett, can you play that or not?
No, it's strictly my oldest son's quite keen, plays quite well. Certainly, I wouldn't be disgracing my fingers on that keyboard, that's for sure. Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on, guys. Let's get stuck right into it. Of course, we're going to look at the racing at Melton on Saturday night, and of course, we'll have a bit of a glance at the Inter-Dominion heats, particularly for the trotters at Albion Park. APG's National Mix Sale is back again and coming to you twice in 2025, with the online auctions taking place in May and August and featuring weanlings, yearlings, stallions and broodmares. These two sales really do have a horse for everyone. Find all the details at apgold.com.au. Will we see another flex from the older brother of Tex? We're talking about race 1 at Melton on Saturday night at 5:16 p.m. And Jan Buckian, barrier 6. He'll come into barrier 5 now with the scratching of Sweet Bella, Frandy Gaff and Jordan Leadham. I'll start with you, Brett. We can sit back on the sidelines and enjoy this race. First of all, do you see the scratching of Sweet Bella as quite important here?
Oh, it's so huge. I was just totally scratching my head before that scratching, and I thought Sweet Bella would probably lead, so I was a bit confused. And now I think Jan Buckian will lead for sure, and he's pretty hard to beat. But having said that, if the peg line's likely to be, say, Sahara Breeze, Kiss, Fighter Command, they're all really quick. And the last time we all thought Jan Buckian would just lead and win, he got run down by Better Isolate. And I reckon these horses are just as quick as Better Isolate, So that's my only knock on the race, as far as wanting to have a bet, because I think that the whole peg line's really strong. And even off the peg probably can't win.
240 for Jan Buckian, though. That's enticing, though, isn't it, I think?
I'm staying out myself, but yeah.
Okay. But Jan Buckian on top if you're forced to pick one. Snooze, you're not involved in this race, but you know these horses. Did you have a bit of an opinion just glancing at the field? It's a good little free-for-all contest to start the night.
Yeah, definitely Jan Buckian. If he can roll to the top, he looks very hard to beat, but it'll be sort of, a bit of a battle, possibly one that ends up behind him might end up with the best trip. And if Sahara Breeze can get across the 1 and maybe sit on Jan Buckian, it's probably got a really good chance of knocking him off. Yeah.
I'll come to you here, Dunny. Just a reminder, there's a first 4 jackpot, $10,000 in race 1, as opposed to the $2,500 ones that have been over the last month. So a big first 4 pool here, Dunny. I don't know if you can fill the top couple of spots in the first 4, but what are your chances here with D Rowe from barrier 11?
Does make it a bit tough. He always seems to draw wide on the front row or right on the back row, but I think he was good last week, considering he's not that miler sort of horse. He needs that more distance, and he just was a bit under the pump. I've chucked a set of dollies on him this week just to and give him a run. Yesterday or the day before Wednesday, and he worked just a bit stronger probably with them on at home, because he's just taken a bit to come up. He might have sort of had a bit of a virus after the Mildura Cup, so his legs blew up. So it is a disappointment. Sweet Bella has probably come out because it probably could have worked to the front, and then it would have just made Jan Buckian maybe work a bit harder. So yeah, when the pace comes off and then trying to get into the race is always hard. If they went helter-skelter, he'd be right in it, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, good stuff. That's race 1, 5:16 p.m. on Saturday night. Pride's Easy Feed stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. Louie's back and ready to race. So can he win the night's second pace? Talking about Louie, trained by Chris Svanosio. Ross Payne takes the drive. Aaron Dunn also has a runner in this race. Outside back row for little Louie. He was an incredible last start winner as well. We'll come to you guys shortly. Brett, I found this a tricky race. I haven't got a market in front of me, but there does look to be a number of winning chances here in race 2.
Yeah, it's a decent race. I think the Louis have got chances. Looks a bit of pressure in the race. The front row, I think everyone probably thinks they can get to lead in the front, which means that generally means that, there'll be a bit of pressure early. And I'm quite interested in what Aaron has to say, because I think little Louis is really well placed here. And the barrier is not as bad as it looks because the front row's, not that strong and they're probably all going to have a crack. So yeah. I'd be happy to have something on little Louis. Yeah, at the value.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Danny. I reckon I spoke to you in the you're circling around last time, and I think you might have made a mistake about which race you put him in. I think that might have been what your comments were. And I tell you what, I thought you had no chance at the top of the straight. I'm not sure if you did either, but he sprouted wings to win last time.
You lost me there.
No, I've got you. Good as gold.
Oh, right. He went super that night. And look, then he was, I've had a bit of a cold go through the stable, and he was probably the first one to get it after that win, which was disappointing. So he's gone back to, gone out for a little bit, and he's worked up, and I think he's going as good. But we just need that speed on and things to go right. He's, probably him and D-Row are those sort of horses. I can't do too much work with them. They're better off flying home if the races run to suit. And that's when, Louis probably won his races in the past. So just got to hope that's how it pans out and he could be right in it.
Yeah, good stuff. I'll go to you here, Snooze. You've got another of the Louie, first up from a break. I reckon he's trialled at least once that I've seen, and I think he trialled well from memory. You happy with him heading into the first up assignment?
Yeah, we're happy with him. He's had 3 trials. Probably hasn't starred, but he's been okay and sort of working back into fitness. But he generally probably takes a couple of runs to really get back and rolling. So there's, maybe no standouts off the front row. It's just a pretty even field. But like our little bloke, he's going to need some luck, I would say, to get into it a good trip, and he should be in the money, but yeah, he'd probably improve on whatever he does on Saturday night.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. I think you're right. I mean, from memory, he took a while to wind up last prep, didn't he? His first couple were just fair, and then he really hit the zone there for a while.
Yeah, he definitely improves with racing. He's a sort of bit of a fat little fella, so he won't be too far away, but he'll definitely be improved by the run.
Okay, good stuff. That is race 2 on the card. Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. The logical solution for your staffing needs. Gotfeelingsyouknow was super for Ross. So will he again show them who's boss? Ross the boss goes around from barrier 6 on Saturday night in the Albion Park Trot, 8:03 p.m. One of 2 runners for Chris Svanosio, Gotfeelingsyouknow, and also Remus Phoenix in barrier 7. We'll start again here with you, Brett. Love your opinions. The key runners in the market, obviously Gilliby Ballerini from the pole, Gotfeelingsyouknow from 6, and Remus Phoenix from barrier 7. How do you see it?
I think the distance of the race makes it really hard to split those 3. They're just miles out of the rest. I would have thought Gotfeelingsyouknow would get to the front, because Ballerini would be happy to sit on a horse like that. And Ballerini can run a 27.5 quarter. So, and then, Remus Phoenix come home in, I think sub 56 last week, which is pretty impressive. So I can't split the 3 of them. So I have to stay out and go, well, it's going to be a really good race.
Yeah.
Not really helping the punters, sorry.
No, I'm a bit the same. It's going to be a great race. Danny, I know you're not involved here. You probably don't know them that well, but, pretty even bunch. And I guess when Gilby Ballerini draws the pole for that camp, going to be very hard to beat, but there is a few key chances. If I gave you $100, Danny, what are you doing with it?
Well, I'd probably go with Gilby Ballerina from the draw more than anything, I think. Dave Murphy's horse has got a bit of gate speed, so it's likely to come out and maybe make those others work a bit. So, but yeah, look, knowing the horses, as you said, probably Snooze has got feelings. I probably didn't even know the horse, to be honest, until I read the form. So, trying to keep up with the horses I'm driving against, to be honest. But so I'll just go with Julie Ballerina for the thing. But yeah, Snooze has got his team of trotters flying. That's one thing he's good at.
I've had plenty of bets over the journey, Snooze, on horses I've never heard of overseas and dogs and stuff. So it's not impossible to find the winner. Couple of questions here. Initially, Gotfeelingsyouknow, are you anticipating being able to find the front, or are you not really sure?
Yeah, I'd say he's a good chance of finding the front. Ross possibly won't have a lot of choice. He really charges the gate. So if he can get to the pegs and find the front, that's definitely his best chance. If he's off the pegs, it's a lot harder for him. He has to do too much work. But yeah, Gilby Ballerini's looks a really top mare coming up, and looks like she's going to get a great trip possibly on his back. So say she'll be very hard to beat, and it'll be sort of pretty tough, I'd say, for Remus Phoenix. He generally goes back from the draw. He's going to have a fair bit of traffic. So if those other two are running a real quick half, it's going to be pretty hard for him to get into it, I think.
Who's the best horse of the two? Snooze, Gotfeelingsyouknow, or Remus Phoenix?
I'd say there's really not much between them. Just from the draw, it's definitely, I'd say, Gotfeelingsyouknow the better chance. It's just going to be very hard for Remus Phoenix to get into it, I think.
Yeah. And one more, if Gotfeelingsyouknow does sort of get the front comfortably enough, works across and takes it up, would you become really confident then, or would you still be wary of Gilby Ballerini on your back? What sort of, how do you see their point-to-point speed, the both of them?
I would think Gilby Ballerini, like on some of her runs last year as a 3-year-old, and the way she looks like she's come back, I'd say she gets the right trip. She is definitely the one to beat.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff there. That's a look at race 6 on the card at 8:03 p.m. I'm going to go with Gilby Ballerini for the record. Not a lot in it, but just when you get barrier 1 in an even race, I tend to lean that way. Arcee's drawn wide on the front. So is he worth a Heat 1 punt? We're looking at Albion Park now up in Queensland for the Inter-Dominion Series. Race 6 on the card is Arcee Phoenix, as I said, wide on the front. Snooze, we'll start with you here. We'll go straight to you. What do you make of Heat 1? I know there's a bigger picture at play, but for those that are interested in backing him, do you think he can win from the draw against a really handy Kiwi in Bet and Win who gets the pole?
I'd say it'll be very hard for him to win. I'm hoping he can run a great race, but I think Bet and Win, if he gets away well and finds the front, I'm going to have to be doing a fair bit of work to get into it at some stage. So Bet and Win's definitely the horse to beat this week.
How do you see it panning out? I must admit I haven't done the form for this race, but does Bet and Win lead and you go around and sit in the breeze? Is that the likely scenario?
Yeah, definitely at some stage I'm going to have to try and get into the action. But, yeah, the couple of scratchings and then the emergencies 13 and 14, I think, take up those barriers 2 and 4. So Arcee Phoenix still starts from barrier 7 is my understanding. So it's a bit, you're out very wide to begin with. It's going to be pretty tough for him.
Yeah, okay. But all in all, Arcee Phoenix, you wrap with him. He's travelled well. I know you wouldn't swap him for any horse, but there's no reservations from when he won in dominant fashion at Melton to now he's done everything perfect?
Yeah, he's obviously had a big trip on the weekend. It was probably 18 hours travelling or something, but he's I couldn't be happier with how he's come through it and been down the beach a couple of times. And he seems pretty happy with himself. I took him into Albion Park on Wednesday and Taylor French drove him in work and he seemed to trot terrific. So everything looks really good. I just think it'll be very hard for him to kick off the series with a win.
Yeah, and just a quick word on Aldebaran and Crux. Of course, the stablemate who goes around in the other heat, barrier 5 for her. Maybe a thought on the race Saturday night, but also longer term, I guess making the final with her would be a great result.
Yeah, obviously, she might be a bit off the best ones and got a bit of an awkward draw for her. She's not that quick out, so hopefully I can find a spot for her somewhere in front of a few of them would help. But yeah, if she can go good on Saturday night and finish off strong, I think she can keep improving the next few weeks.
Good stuff. Good luck up there. Snooze. Dunny and Brett. Dunny, maybe longer term or wider Arcee Phoenix view in the Inter-Dominion or in terms of the trotters? I think we're all going to go with Larry and the Pacers, but do you think Arcee's got a really good hope to take it all out in a couple of weeks' time?
I think he has got a good hope. Like his run last week was, awesome, I reckon. And, we just, I haven't only looked at that race at Menangle or the other bet and win. So, and he did everything he had to do, and just the barrier draw and first heat. I'm not sure how many heats they're having this year, whether it's just 2 or whatever. 2, yeah. So Snoo's probably not going to knock him around too much trying to beat this one this week. So yeah, it's going to be probably the one to get in the draw, which is always makes a big difference in a lot of these races. And I think he'll probably the one to beat, and Snooze will run a good second to him.
And hopefully get him in a couple of weeks' time. Brett, how'd you see the race on Saturday night? And have you got an on-top selection for the grand final in a couple of weeks in the Trotters?
Oh, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Arcee Phoenix is $3 to win the final and Bet and Win's $3.50 to win the final. It's such a massive disparity in the odds tomorrow night. It just goes to show how important the barriers are. So, it seems crazy that Bet and Win's $1.45, doesn't it, really? But if they're drawn the same in the final, will it be a similar price? I don't know. I would have thought Arcee Phoenix was clearly the top seed if we're talking in tennis parlance. So I can't have those odds, $1.45 for Bet and Win tomorrow, because I don't think he's a moral to lead. But we'll see. I'll be happy to sit and wait for the final. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That is Albion Park on Saturday night. Now, I'm looking at you guys. I can't remember your last result on the Best Bet segment, Dunny, thanks to Sharp's Bakery. I know Snooze got his last one up because we went head-to-head and he got me right on the line with Beat Sweet. And I know Brett's on a ridiculous hot streak, but we'll start with you, Dunny. What are you going to do on Saturday night for your best bet?
I can't remember myself how I went last time. I might just stick on my own this time. I might just go with Jazzy Malee. She's drawn the front over the short. Think she's fine. Just worried she's going to come to the end of her. She's lost a bit of weight, but probably got fitter. But yeah, I think with that draw and over the short, she should be hard to beat. Okay,
Jazzy Malia for Aaron Dunn. I can see a smile.
It's actually Jazzy Malee.
Malee.
Real, yeah.
Okay.
I had a couple of sisters working for me, and one was Jazzy, or that was her sort of nickname, and the girl was Malee. But I probably should have just named it differently so people didn't get confused.
Well, I'm on the microphone Saturday night, so I'll go with Malee if I can remember that. Jazzy Malee. I know I'm going to get criticised. Someone will go, "That's not it. It's Malia." But we might try and get Dan Malecki to get that one right as well. Brett's got a smile. Does that mean you're thinking Jazzy Malee as well, Brett?
No, I just like the name. I'm glad Aaron corrected me. I wouldn't have guessed that either. But I'm happy to just put that name in my brain now and always think of it that way.
Like
you asked
Bondi
me
lockdown in America.
Sorry, buddy?
Bondi lockdown in America. They call him Bondi.
Oh, Bondi.
Yeah, of course they do.
Which is a bit.
We won't make that mistake. Brett, best bet?
Yeah, they like to go their own way. They don't like to follow other people's pronunciations, do they? I'm going Melton tonight because I can't find one tomorrow night. It's too hard for me. And you might laugh, but this is the sort of class of horse that I like to have a bet in, basically. I'm going in Glen Bull, race 6, number 13, Blue Ocean. It's a tautology of a name. But James Herbenson on. He's 1 for 1 for Glen Bull. Pretty good to me. So we're going Blue Ocean, race 6, number 13 tonight.
Wow. And that'll be another winner for Wager Wednesdays if they could get up to, wouldn't it, Brett? I think Glenn was tipping that on there.
Yeah, they're on a roll. They're flying.
Yeah, they are. Righto, good stuff. Okay, interesting. Barrier 13. That's no easy task, but righto, that's tonight at Melton. Snooze. I was devastated when your best bet got up last time. I thought I was home. You must admit, I reckon 99 out of 100 horses would win with Smoke and Ace's run in that grade. But Beat Sweet was able to get up and knock me off on the inside.
Pay the punter.
Yeah. Just got there, but only got to be in front on the line.
Correct.
100%.
What are you doing this weekend?
I thought race 5, number 1, Always Dancing for Matty Craven. It looks a pretty hot field, but he's got the barrier draw and should be improved from its first run for Matty. Thought it could lead and nearly get the cash.
Yeah, good call. I'm with it as well. And I think it was, what was it, Brett? $4.50 versus Sagano $1.20. So there's a bit of value there for Snooze's best bet. Race 5, number 1. Very hard. I probably should have gone to a different meeting like Brett, but I'll go race 9, number 7, Hoppy for Matty Craven as well, Snooze. So putting the pressure on him. I did ring him today about something and mentioned that I fancied it, and he poured a fair bit of cold water on it. But that doesn't worry me. I've had him get up before. So we'll go with race 9, number 7, Hoppy. Really appreciate you jumping on, boys. Have a good weekend on the punt. Have a good weekend in the sulky, and we'll speak next time on Burning Questions. Join me for the coverage at Melton on Saturday night. I'll be there for the first race just after 5 p.m.
Green light, they're away.
And they're all in their positions, ready to go. There's the light up.
In true Mildura stock.
The green light's on. It was a beautiful start of...
He's trying to get